The Royal Mouse. Hidden away deep in the royal pantry was the residence of Ashley Marmaduke Lorenzo Mouse, Esquire. His mouse hole had its front door leading directly into the royal pantry, which gave Ashley Marmaduke Lorenzo Mouse a most delicious feeling of belonging to the royal family. He had lined his house with soft downy feathers he had found in the Queen's own bedroom. He had furnished it with little knickknacks he had found here and there. He always let his country cousins know that his address was care of the royal pantry, the palace, which never failed to impress them. When they visited him, he would serve them food fit for a queen. There would be pale, creamy gorgonzola cheese laced with green veins, jet black beads of caviar, succulent pink ham, and for dessert, plump strawberry shortcake crumbs. After the meal, he would serve to his guests nectar brought from a passing bee in tiny silver thimbles he had found in a Christmas pudding. He was such a popular host and so proud of his success that one night, while he was admiring all the possessions in his comfortable house, he suddenly decided, as I live in the palace and eat the same food as the royal family, I'm as good as a member of the royal family and really should be treated as a prince. So the next day he sent word to all his country cousins, telling them that from that day they must bow and curtsy when they saw him, and should always address him as Your Royal Highness, Prince Ashley Marmaduke Lorenzo Mouse the First. Very soon his country cousins got tired of addressing him in this fashion. It took so long that after they had finished addressing him they had forgotten what else they wanted to say. Besides, their food had gone cold, or still worse, the maids had swept up the banquet hall by the time they had all had their say. Soon, most visiting country mice dined at the market instead, and in no time no one visited him at all. He thought, oh well, they are only simple country mice, and most likely they have forgotten the way to my abode. So he painted signs with directions to his house in bright colours, scarlet, azure, gold, and emerald. The signs announced, His Royal Highness Prince Ashley Marmaduke Lorenzo Mouse I holds court in the royal pantry behind the dried fruit jar. Name is on the door. He placed the signs all over the palace and outside in the grounds, with arrows pointing the way to the pantry. Now, the Queen's cook had not been aware that there was a mouse in the pantry, so when she saw the signs she became very angry and went straight to the royal housekeeper and complained. The royal housekeeper informed the lady-in-waiting, who, at the mere mention of a mouse, gave a scream which reached the Queen's ears. On hearing what all the commotion was about, she gave orders for a cat to be purchased and put in the pantry to catch the impudent mouse who dared to call himself a prince and dine like a queen. The royal cook hurried to market and bought a huge cat whose name was Catch-em-Quick. Some of the country mice heard what was going to happen and decided they must rescue their foolish cousin. They scurried into the royal pantry just in time to see His Royal Highness open his front door to answer a very loud knock. Who should he find there at the door but Mr. Catch-em-Quick? Before he could slam the door, the cat had grabbed him and was just about to pop His Royal Highness into his mouth. When the country mice rushed at him, some bit his tail, others pulled his whiskers, then 4 of them picked up a meat mallet and banged him smartly on the toes. Ouch! Poor Mr. Catch-em-Quick. Catch-em-Quick got such a shock that he dropped His Royal Highness and stuck his foot in his mouth to ease the pain. As he did this, the country cousins grabbed His Royal Highness, Prince Ashley Marmaduke Lorenzo Mouse I, and ran out of the palace as fast as they could, and did not stop until they reached their house in the grain fields. When they finally put His Royal Highness down, he was shaking so much that he didn't look at all regal, but rather like a common little country mouse. I had no idea that being a prince was such a dangerous job, he told his rescuers as he thanked them. I think I shall live quietly from now on and try my paw at farming. From that day on, he was known as A Mouse, who lives with his cousins somewhere in the grain fields. And the last time I visited the grain fields, Ashley Mouse and his cousins were still living there, and they look like being there forever and ever more. The end.